Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Michelle Nicklin. I'm the West Sales Director here at Advantage. This webinar is a continuation of a previous webinar, Driving Efficiencies in Media Planning, which covered planning for all media tactics with real-time dashboards, as well as the ability to export the final plan flowchart for client approvals. A little bit of background. I worked at an agency 10 years ago, and we planned in Excel, created our orders manually in the software for IOs, so everything flowed into accounting. As make goods occurred, it was double work for us to update the Excel flowchart, as well as the insertion order in the buying software. Advantage Media Tools truly is a media planner buyer's dream. Today, we will be reviewing how to utilize the Broadcast Worksheet by reviewing the features that will ultimately save your agency time, increase effectiveness, as well as reduce risk. Some of the features we'll cover today are the vendor RFP process, the ability to import avails, sending insertion orders through the platform, the make good process, as well as traffic instructions. Combine this process will not only save you time by eliminating manual planning and buying via Excel, but it will also streamline your media process significantly. Sound good? Let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And you're going to see that I have the media planning window open. This is where it all begins. When planning for television or radio, broadcast so to speak, you will enter your GRP goals for the campaign in the planning window, which is what you see here. These are all GRP goals. The same will look the same for radio as well. In the broadcast worksheet, you will be able to load these goals from the media plan and attach them to your worksheet. These goal details will be used for each market to track goals versus purchased. So now I'm going to go ahead and go into one of our markets, and I'm going to start with the RFP process. So this is a feature that also includes automated vendor communication. It can replace any manual process of requesting a broadcast media proposal and avails, plus it provides a complete audit trail and tracking on every single request. So up here at the top, we're going to click the RFP, and you're going to see all of your stations for the market. You can go ahead and select all by just holding down your shift key and hit generate, and we're going to go ahead and generate and send the RFP. You'll see here the request includes key information that's needed for the campaign. This looks like an email form. You can type your subject line here. You can include all of your campaign details right here. If you would like to CC yourself on this request, you can do that as well. But all of your vendors will show up here at the bottom. And you can process all by clicking the button and checking. Once we hit process, it's also going to send and create the RFP request. So once we get there, the vendor is going to get an email that looks very similar to this. It says, here's the RFP. This is all of the information needed for the RFP. It's also going to show you a timeline of any communication that you have had with your vendor. All the vendor has to do is click on the live link. So when it opens, it's going to give them all of the details of your campaign, all of your avail requests, everything that you need is going to be listed here. All the vendor has to do is select a file, and they can attach an avail file in an XML format for television and radio, or an SCX file for cable. They can enter a comment, such as, here are your avails, and then all they have to do is submit once they've attached the file. Okay, I'm going to go back out and go back to our database here. And so these are the vendors that we RFP. You'll see that We availed them. Once the import comes, you can use our import wizard to go through all of the steps to walk you through the import, to import those avails from all of the vendors. We have a status button here that will show which avails have been imported and our avail lines. So now we're going to go ahead and click the avail lines. And what you're going to see here is once the avails are imported, it brings everything into what we call a staging table. All of the vendor avails are shown here. Here are all of the available programs with the flight dates, the day parts, and so forth, all of the information. Every column here is a filter and sort. You can sort by day parts. If you don't want to look at all of the day parts, we can sort by specific day parts right here, just by clicking the little funnel. I'm going to go ahead and go back to all. And so now, once our avail lines are imported, we can actually go into an actual buy. So one of the things before we get to the processing of orders, I want to point out a few things right here along the top that you're going to see. If you're a subscriber, if you subscribe to Nielsen ratings, you're going to be able to see books and trends for each program and day part in your worksheet. You can also go ahead and select the books that you want to look at. You can select whichever ones you want just by checking the box. And then you can go ahead and look at trends. This opens up a specific window that can actually be moved to another monitor as you click on a specific row. Once you click in a row, the actual trend window is going to update with those ratings for that specific program. You're going to be able to see the past books. You can click the plus sign and look at all of the ratings for the past 4 books, which is how the 4-book average is listed. Another thing that I also want to point out too, hiatus weeks are in red. You can hide them if you don't want to see them, or you can keep them in your worksheet. In addition, we have an option to use both a primary and a secondary demo. Next, there is a show total and a summary. The show totals your weekly spend, your spots, your GRPs, and so forth. My favorite is this summary window. This is a summary window that can be moved again to a different monitor so you can consistently keep track as you are working in the buy. Any changes you make throughout here to the number of spots per week are automatically going to update this weekly summary. As you can see here, you've got a lot of other summaries that you can also pull. Everything is exportable to Excel. This is a popular one. This is the station summary that basically shows what your spend is by station and their share percent. So I know a lot of station reps may come to us and say, what is my share, before I provide you with the requested added value. You can see all of this in the station summary information. So now I'm going to switch over to a radio buy to show you how we can process orders. We're going to go into our New York buy, and we're going to simply click on orders and create. We want to create for our specific flight dates, and then we're going to hit save to create our orders. Now it's going to allow us to generate those orders. Here's another note you can put to your vendor, CC yourself, and hit process. Note that this is going to be stored an upload and signed document when it's submitted, and once everything is signed, an executor copy will go to the vendor as well. So you'll see that the blue is ordered. Prior to, those were pink. So now what you're going to see is I've got my vendor hat on. And so the vendor's going to receive an email that looks like this with all of your message. Here's my order for American Express. They're going to get a PDF copy of your radio order. Here's all of the times and day parts, number of spots per week, totals for each of the flight months, as well as your standard terms and conditions. The vendor is also going to receive an XML file so they can import the order directly into their system. They can click this live link to view the order that you sent them, and they're going to be able to click view, and it's going to bring up a screen that shows that they have this order here. As long as everything looks okay, they can scroll across, they can make sure that your spot costs are all correct, and if everything looks good, all they have to do is check the box and accept. They could say thank you, and then go ahead and accept your order. Once the vendors accept, the status is going to update the order to order accepted. So once the vendor has acknowledged the order that you sent them, accepted it, and submitted it back, you're going to get a signed PDF copy as well that is digitally signed by your vendor. That's another beauty of the software. You're also going to be able to see details of the order here. You're going to see your order status completely and anything that has been accepted or you're still waiting for. Now you're going to see that all of these orders have been accepted. So as we all know, with any broadcast buy, whether it be television, radio, or cable, it never looks the same at the end of the flight due to preemptions that occur throughout the flight. Therefore, the vendor can go back into the link and create a make good and send it back to you for approval. You're going to receive a notification that you have a pending make good. We can see what spots were preempted and what the make good is for. Obviously, they're offering us the same program and the time frame, so I'm going to go ahead and accept. If they were not and they were offering you, let's say midday for an AM drive spot, I would probably reject it and request added value. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and accept this and say thanks. The last thing I want to point out about all of these orders is you may have a client that comes to you and they like to see the entire schedule. Don't fear that you have to keep an Excel chart of this. You can export any of this information at any time. You can also go back to the media planning window and export the entire flow chart. From there, you can delete everything and just send them TV. Everything will be updated in real time, as well as all of the dashboards that were shown in a previous webinar. Our broadcast traffic module provides the ability to manage and send broadcast traffic instructions with Creative to stations, which greatly streamlines the process, ensures accuracy, and ultimately helps improve the success of your broadcast campaigns. So we're going to go up here to the top and we're going to select traffic. We're going to go ahead and click missing traffic instructions. This is going to show you all of the traffic for this current campaign that still needs to be sent out. Go to a specific campaign and pull up that creative, and you're going to upload that file, or if you have a link, if it's too large to attach, you can also include a link here. You're able to send over those traffic instructions straight to your vendors for every single campaign. In closing, our media module is a complete platform to help you plan and manage all of your media buys for broadcast as well as all other media placements. To get started with media tools, simply contact us for a demo today. If you're already an Advantage Media Tools customer and have questions, our support team is here to help. Plus, our user community is packed full of additional helpful videos. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful day.